Hi, I'm Lori Betts, host of the Golden Years, and this month we are featuring how to keep you safe and out of trouble in your home. So come on in and we'll show you some tools.
Did you buy the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yup.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes.
The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Visit ready.gov.
We're PAX 3507, and you're watching Brunswick Area Television.
Welcome back to Golden Years, and I have our service technician, James Kroger, with us, and he's going to tell you about one of the items that keeps you in your home. Many people have lived in a home for 30, 40, 50 years, and they don't want to move. So this will get you from one floor to the other. James, would you like to tell them about the Stair Glide?
This is a Bruno. This is designed to get you between floors in your house if you have difficulty traveling up and down the stairs. It's an American-made unit, which is an advantage because should anything ever go wrong, we could have parts here by 10 a.m. the next morning. We've seen people use these to transport laundry, Christmas trees, just about everything. It's battery powered, so you don't have to worry about the power going out. It comes with 2 remote controls, one for upstairs, one for down. So if it is ever upstairs, you can call it down to you. And at a later point in time, should you ever move, they can be removed from the home without leaving any marks on the walls or things that have to be restored.
Do the stairway, the steps, have to be a certain length, width?
We can measure and fit just about any home in the market. We can even do curved stair rails if they have multiple curves they want to go around.
A landing?
A landing, yep. And it's so much cheaper than moving to a ranch.
Okay, now since we're all different sizes, how many pounds does this one hold, and can another one hold more?
This unit here holds about 350 pounds. We do have larger units that can hold up to 400 pounds.
Okay.
And they have several safety features on them. For example, if a foot were to get in the way of the stairs and mom or dad wasn't paying attention, the unit will automatically stop so as to not injure mom or dad.
And service calls, what basically goes wrong with these?
These
Customer
rarely have any
usage,
problems.
or-
No. These rarely have any problems. At most, about every 3 years, you have to replace the batteries. And other than that, they never really have any problem. They don't need any maintenance. They're a very reliable unit compared to overseas models.
Okay. And like you have said, we have sold them to people. I know one gentleman wanted to go down his stairs in Parma to work on his woodworking.
Yes.
And another
Yes.
lady wanted to go down and do the wash, the laundry. Well, I
And
don't
they
know.
send groceries to each other. They send lunch to each other.
Yeah, and it keeps you in your home.
Yes, it does. And it's so much cheaper than trying to pick up and move your whole life to a ranch home. It's not worth giving up half your house at that price.
Okay, and unfortunately, this is not an insurance item.
No, it's not. Just trying to tell you that it's so much more cost effective than trying to move.
And get rid of all the stuff that you've collected over the years.
Yeah, you're comfortable in your home. It makes no sense to completely move out of your home when options like this are around.
Okay, James, you do go into a lot of the homes out in the area. Tell us about scooters.
Scooters. We have several scooters. There are indoor models, outdoor models. Most people are looking for something small and convenient that they can get in and out of their car, as compared to a larger model where you'll have larger tires, but you need some sort of heavy lifting equipment like a Bruno lift to get it in and out. All of the scooters break down into multiple pieces, but these smaller ones make it so much easier to just go to a mall or a grocery store, things like that.
What am I going to get from Medicare?
From Medicare, you're going to get, matter of fact, this exact model. Medicare does not like paying for anything more than absolutely necessary to get you out and about. So they will pay for something to get you around your home, but you're not going to be doing a lot of traveling around the zoo or parks or things like that.
You can, I mean, it's allowed out of the house, but that's not Medicare's goal.
Correct. Medicare's goal is simply to take care of you inside the house. Things like getting your mail or going to see your neighbor is not in their scope. That's why we do offer bigger models, and some insurances allow you to upgrade, but that's something you'd have to check with your insurance provider.
And these two go according to poundage. So tiny Mrs. Jones would probably fit perfectly in the smaller model
Yes.
versus having the big one that's going to get her into trouble.
Yes. Matter of fact, most of the smaller models handle anywhere from 250 to 300 pounds. We do have larger models that can handle up to 450 pounds. So there's not much we can't fit as far as a scooter goes.
How fast do these go?
Most of the smaller ones will go around 3 to 4 miles an hour. We do have some bigger ones that can top out at 7 miles an hour.
So there's a rabbit and there's a turtle.
There's a rabbit and there's a turtle. And then there's, like I said, the bigger ones you could take to the Metro Park Zoo. Not a problem, get you up and down all the hills. But as far as Medicare goes, you're going to get the bare essentials.
How easy is this one to take apart?
Would you like a demonstration?
Do it real quick.
Sure. On these smaller units, the seat comes off. The batteries come off. Now your heaviest part is going to be this back axle, which weighs 32 to 36 pounds depending on some models. So that's going to be your heaviest piece. Baskets pop right off. And then the tiller folds down so that you can set it in your trunk. And these are all your separate pieces.
And how big are those batteries?
Those batteries are what we call a ES, I want to say 1212. I would have to double check there. Of all of the battery groups, they are the smaller one, being the Medicare scooter.
And how long will a battery last?
They say 7 miles, but the reality of it is it comes out to about an hour, maybe 2 hours of drive time.
Okay. And the charger is on board charger where they could stop somewhere and charge it?
On this model, the charger is on board, so you would simply have a plug that goes from the wall to your battery box, which can be convenient because if you leave the unit in your car, you can just take the battery box inside to charge it. Your average charge time is about 5 hours on this unit.
Okay. I saw a lot of scooters this week at the Medina Fair, and the sad thing is when people are in crowds, they don't care that you're coming up behind them, that you're on a scooter. They have horns, but they don't listen because everyone's in their groups and it's all about them. People just stop right in front of you. They turn right in front of you. And if this is going 3-4 miles, I mean, you have to
Yes,
slam
you do have to be aware. There is very little awareness in the sense of other people for the handicap or senior citizens trying to get around. So it does take a little bit of precaution, but as long as they've got some of their responses about them, they should be able to get around fine.
And this is a perfect little scooter, too, that in the senior buildings, if you have a long trip to the dining room, this would get them there.
Correct.
And in and out of the elevators.
And we do have a model like this, which is a little bit of an upgrade. It is the bigger batteries, which would get you around the zoo and larger places or hillier places. And I don't think it's that much more, but Medicare would not approve it.
But they can always upgrade.
They can always upgrade. But it stays in a nice small package like this. It's a very similar size, just larger batteries.
And how many pounds will that hold?
If I'm not mistaken, this is the Lynx 3, and I think it holds, let me double check, I think it holds 300 pounds or 250. 300 pound weight capacity on this.
Okay. And it is true that if they don't want to take it apart, there's always ramps available.
There are ramps available, and like the Bruno stair lift we had seen earlier, Bruno does make a line of, you might call them miniature cranes that can pick the scooter up and put it inside your van or vehicle for you. The larger the vehicle you have, the easier it is though.
Care for the scooter?
Not much to it. Stay out of puddles, stay out of heavy rains, take a clear plastic poncho, put it in the basket, and if it does start to rain, you can not only cover yourself with the poncho, but you can cover the controls, which is the main part you have to worry about.
And certain colors do come on different brands.
Correct.
I mean, there's one of many
Correct.
scooters out there because as you can see, there's different sizes, different styles.
Correct.
Many manufacturers.
A lot of them are built similar. Some of it does come down to aesthetics as to what they like. Colors, we can get almost any color. There are some manufacturers like the Invacare that only does the Lynx in a red or blue color. This new Pride that's being offered on the market actually comes with multiple colored panels. So when you purchase it, you get red, blue, and silver. Which is nice because if you scuff up one, you can save a set for weddings or wherever you go.
Now I would like to introduce you to our employee, John Williams, and he does our wheelchair fittings. And as you can see, I guess one size does not fit all, John.
Correct. We do chairs anywhere from pediatric to bariatric. Lori is now standing in front of a bariatric chair. And what I do, when I need to fit somebody, I got to fit their seat size, which is width and depth of the seat. So I would measure from their back to the front of their leg. And we're going to use you as a guinea pig.
Do we have to?
So I would have them sitting on a fairly
Is
hard
this my
s-
size?
hard-
Is that what you're telling
This
me?
is not your size. But, so what I have to do is measure across their hips,
Don't tell them how much I
and to get a rough estimate, she's that big. I go across their hips, then I go from the back to the front of their leg. In this case, this chair is too deep for Lori. I should have a couple inches here in front of their leg so it does not cut off the circulation in the back of the leg. So I go from the back to the front, and then I go from the floor to the seat. I'm not going to go down there, but I would measure from the floor to the seat height. I also need to know from the bottom of their leg to the bottom of their foot so that I can adjust the footrest or elevating leg rest to their height. And if they are a foot propeller, then I need to lower the chair, which is called a hemi height, that they can use their feet to propel the chair rather than using the hand rims to propel the chair.
And why is all this important?
If they got good use of some use of their legs, you want to keep them ranging their legs around, moving them, keeping them exercised. If they are weak in the arms and they can't propel and they can use their legs, then I would have it low to the floor also. So that's one of the other things I assess their strength to make sure that they can propel a wheelchair. Another measurement I take is from the seat to the shoulders, to the shoulder blades, so that the back of the seat height here can be the right height and not dig into their shoulder blades. Need to be above or below that. Another measurement I take is their elbow to seat. If they are too tall, then their elbow is going to, they're not going to be able to rest their elbow on the armrest, which would then tug on the shoulders and maybe give them some discomfort. So after all these measurements, I then pick out what chair they use, order in all the features they need. A feature may be a height adjustable armrest like this one. So if they are tall and I need to raise their armrest height, I can set that wherever it's needed. That chair that Lori is in is a fixed height armrest, which is standard at 9 inches.
And let's see if I could do this easy.
Oh, that is called a detachable armrest. And for a person that, well, that's a desk length, like this one. This is a desk length. So if they want to get up to a table, you can get up to a table easier. Like Lori just did on the one over there, she turned it around backwards. Now the person, if they go to stand up or transfer to something else, they can have the arm pad up here and lift themselves out easier. Rather than reaching further back here, they're putting their hand up here to assist getting out. There are different types of arms. There's detachable arms, fixed arms, and detachable swing-away arms, which none of these are. So that's a bariatric chair. This is an 18 wide chair. This one is a 16 wide chair. And this little red one here is a pediatric chair, which is 12 inches wide. So they go from, actually from 10 inches up to 20, I think we can go up to 36 inches wide on wheelchairs.
That's quite
So
wide.
Depending on the person, depends on what chair I order.
Why is it so important, a good cushion if they're sitting in the wheelchair?
If they are sitting in the chair long term, say 20 or 8 hours a day or more, or well, even 2 hours or more, you would want to sit on a cushion that will support you and not give you a skin breakdown.
And there is another wheelchair out there. It's called a transport chair. It's got 4 small 8-inch casters. I borrowed it yesterday, so it's not in the store. It's just a chair to transport. A person shouldn't be living in the chair all day long, but to transport them from A to point B, whether it's a casino, church, dinner, those are available. It's a wonderful light chair because they all come different weights.
They do. Chairs come in steel, titanium, aluminum, even carbon fiber nowadays. But you're looking at big bucks to go carbon fiber.
Give them quick history on your chair.
My chair is a aluminum frame. I have knobby tires for getting through grass and rough surfaces. I have suspension forks on the front that give. If I hit a crack in the sidewalk, it'll flex over it and keep me from tipping forward. It also has suspension in the rear. I don't know if you can see it bounce up and down, but the suspension in the rear is nice because sitting in a chair that does not have suspension, you feel a lot of vibration coming through the frame into your body, and can cause backaches. Other than that, most people end up getting your typical standard run-of-the-mill wheelchairs.
And a person like you, life does not end when you're living in that wheelchair. Tell them about the wheelchair calves.
Oh, Wheelchair Calves. That's a wheelchair basketball team sponsored in Cleveland by the Cavaliers. And they travel around the United States competing against other wheelchair athlete teams. We supply them with some of their supplies and go to the games at the arena. And they also have a schedule online that you can go watch them locally at wherever they're playing in town.
And in John's youth, he used to be with Dancing with Wheels.
Dancing Wheels?
Dancing Wheels, Dancing Wheels.
I did a 5-year tour with Dancing Wheels. We don't talk about that much.
But you could dance in your wheelchair.
You can dance in your wheelchair. Usually you wouldn't dance in this chair, but you could. I actually have a different chair for other different sports. Some of the sports I've done in the past were wheelchair tennis, water ski, snow ski. I hand cycle. I still do that. I have a race coming up on Put-in-Bay in September, and I'll be riding my bike in a 3-mile run. I just did a 3-mile run in Toledo, and I broke the record there of, I think the record was 16 minutes. I did it in 14, just under 15 minutes. It was 14 something.
I didn't even know that.
So,
Good
in the
job.
past I've done marathons. My first marathon ever was Detroit, and I finished. It was a grueling trip, but I finished, and then I I started liking marathons and have done marathons for quite a few years.
Good for you. I always admire John because there's nothing you can't do.
Just do it in a different way, or figure out a different way.
And he has
So.
told many customers that.
Yep.
You know, this is your life, you have to deal with it, and
Yep.
you have to accept it.
There is a organization in Cleveland, I guess it's Cleveland, called Three Trackers of Ohio, and they do adaptive water skiing and snow skiing. And they meet on Sunday mornings and I think Wednesdays at Brandywine during the winter.
I also want to mention that we do wheelchair repairs for many end users. We do them for the customer, the local customers. We also do them for the Cleveland Browns and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
And local hospital
And nursing homes.
and nursing homes.
Okay, we are going to take a short break, and we'll return and we'll show you some more daily tools to keep you safe in your home.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Welcome back. I just wanted to show you another point as far as one size doesn't fit all. A lot of people will come into the store and they're saying they're getting the walker for mom or dad. Sizes on the walkers do matter. This is a shorter walker, so if Mrs. Jones is a little bit shorter, she might need a shorter style. This is a little bit higher, so that's like this one's mate, but just a higher one. And this is the width. So this would be for a heavier person with the round back. And there's a lot of different seats out there. There's a lot of different backs. It's always good for the person to come in and try out what he or she likes. Because a lot of times if they buy it for the person, they come back and they say mom or dad absolutely hated it. So it's just like a dress. So come into the store, try it out. Any store. Just make sure you go there, try it, like it. With all the many changes happening in Medicare and insurances, you can call our billing specialist, Judy or Debbie, with no obligation to ask them any questions to see if an item might be covered. They are my insurance police, so give them a call. These are lift chairs. These are a wonderful piece of furniture. It will help the senior get in and out of the chair comfortably. They come in different sizes. This would be a petite. This is for a taller person, larger person, someone who wanted more poofiness in the back for more comfort. If you had a hard time getting yourself up out of a chair, this will help you stand up on your feet and just walk out of the chair. You could stop it wherever you want to stop it, wherever you're comfortable, and just walk out of it. And it'll keep going up. And then when you want to go sit back down, and they come in all colors, fabrics. It's a wonderful piece of furniture. People come in and they borrow swatches so they can match their furniture at home. And then it also reclines. So I think I'm ready for a nap, and we'll see you next month.
You have the time to give, and your country needs you. Take what you learned during your life and apply those skills to your community. Shape tomorrow by being a mentor and tutor for children. Make independence a reality for people to continue to make their house their home. Make a difference today. Get involved.